Hello, everyone. It's Shane Conto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to the Wasteland Watchlist here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. And this is my weekly show where my guests and I play a bit of movie roulette, select something random from my enormous movie watch list that is obnoxious and has so many things, all kinds of possibilities. And we just so happen to land on an Academy Award winning classic. But joining me
Mhm.
for this episode is my buddy Adam. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure, man.
Absolutely. And a member of the crew, indeed, with his own shows
Mm.
here at SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. But to give you a little bit of background on our film, we're talking about Stalag 17 from 1953. So this was released in the UK May 29th, 1953, and then came out about a week later in the US, June 6th, 1953. It's about 120 minutes, is at a box office of $10 million on a budget of $1.66 million. So pretty
Yeah.
good there. This is
Mm.
indeed from writer-director Billy Wilder, one of the all-time great filmmakers, especially one of the defining filmmakers of the time in the 50s around this period. This is based on a play by uh Gondel Began and Edmund Krasinski. This is based off of the playwright's actual experience being prisoners of war in Austria. Um, William
Crazy.
Holden won his Oscar for Best Actor for this film, but Holden, his acceptance speech was one of the shortest in history by saying just thank you, because they were going over time on the broadcast and forced everybody to
Ah.
cut their speeches down, which in particular pissed off William Holden. So he
Mm.
actually paid for an ad to come out in the papers the next day to thank all the people that he actually wanted to
Really?
thank in his speech. So
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing.
good guy, Bill. Um,
Yeah.
Holden actually believed either Burt Lancaster or Montgomery Clift should have won this award for From Here to Eternity. So
Hmm.
he didn't really think this was his best work and shouldn't have been the
Yeah.
one that he won his
He might be
Oscar
right.
for. But he did actually believe this was a consolation prize for him for not winning for Sunset Boulevard,
Yeah. Yeah.
which honestly, I think
Uh,
Sunset
Not the
Boulevard
f
is.
Yeah. He's not the first actor to get a consolation Oscar after an amazing career.
How can you say that about actors like
Al
John
Pacino.
Wayne or Al
Ah.
Pacino?
Yeah. Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
John Wayne should not have won for. Well, actually, what's really interesting too is because John Wayne also beat a pair of co-stars for Best Actor back then because he beat
Oh.
Don Voight and Dustin Hoffman for Midnight Cowboy
Ah. Right.
for
Yes.
True Grit. But yes,
Mm.
Al Pacino should not have won his Best Acting Oscar for Scent of a Woman. Wow. Um,
Ooh, that
but
started the that started the new Al Pacino style of acting, right?
yep, continued in his cocaine infused performance of Heat,
Yeah. Yep.
where he that
Devil's
character was
advocate.
definitely on coke. But Robert Strauss and Harvey Lembeck appeared in the original Broadway production of Stalag 17 as their characters and continued them here. The stage play was actually produced and directed by Jose Ferrer, which is interesting.
Mm.
Two actors considered for Holden's role were Charlton Heston and Kirk Douglas. It's
Yeah.
I feel like
Kirk would have
the
been good.
characters would have been a lot less overtly cynical and a lot more
Mm.
ragey.
Yes. Yeah. 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 Kirk
I feel like
Douglas is. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
fire. I feel like they would have been a lot fiery performance. Like William Holden's not that like fiery kind of type. It's much
No.
more of like Bridge on the River Kwai kind of just like I'm cynical about it. I
He's
just want to be
chill.
done with it.
Yeah. He bides his time.
I'm a huge fan of William Holden, but we'll get to that. So the film
Mm.
location is now a meeting house for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Wow.
Mormons. So there you go.
Yeah.
The film was shot chronologically, actually, which
Yeah.
is not usually done when it comes to
No.
shooting films because it's a lot costlier. The informant's identity was kept from the cast until the last 3 days of shooting.
That's good to know. That's really
That's an
cool.
that's an interesting dynamic to set up. Sounds like a
Mm.
Marvel movie. Nobody knows what the movie's really about.
Mhm.
Except at least all of these people actually filmed in the same place and didn't just get, puzzle pieced together in post.
Mm.
Um, Marvel. Um, the Paramount held up release because they were convinced people would not see a POW film.
Oh,
They didn't think people would care about seeing a POW film, except Adam. This film was pushed out into theaters after American POWs from the Korean War were released home and got a whole bunch of
my
attention.
God. And so execs were dickheads back then as well. Like, come on.
It's just like, who gives a shit about soldiers that put their lives on the line and are now being held captive? And
Yeah.
then watches the news and people all get excited. I'm like,
Oh, we just happen to have one. Here's something
okay.
I prepared earlier.
We just happen to have a film just for this occasion. So
Just
there
fresh
you
out the
go.
oven. Yeah, amazing.
Other nominees for the Academy Awards were Best Director for Billy Wilder and Best Supporting Actor for Robert Strauss. The show's Hogan's Heroes was heavily influenced by Stalag 17 and its vibe of being about POWs, but taking a farcical, satirical take on that experience. I feel like Hogan's Heroes
How
is
did
a
I say?
lot funnier
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
outwardly, but
Yeah. I don't know how they say heavily influenced. I thought it was just a TV version of the same movie. Heavily influenced is an insult. It's the same thing. Anyway.
it's just like this was totally based off of true events. Like this is literally about something. It's just like it's influenced by.
Mm, yeah.
It's like
A
trying to
Dua
think of a
Lipa
good
song.
example.
She
It's like
claims the original.
wow, Adam. I'm not
Have
gonna
you not
take that.
seen a lot of there's a lot of yeah, a lot of controversy around her beats sometimes.
Her album was literally called this like has to do with
Future
nostalgia.
nostalgia.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
of course she's pulling on other things
Mm.
and people pay attention. And there will be no Dua Lipa slander on this show. Uh,
Oh
I
no, I
love
love
her.
her. I reckon she's great. I was just
But
creating controversy.
see, we're trying to be controversial and get attention. So there you go. Um, we're just gonna have Dua Lipa music play as we talk about Stalag 17 now. And because that totally
Uh,
won't be taken down for copyright.
I was
Um,
humming the Prince song controversy.
well, there you go. But this film, after two American prisoners are killed by guards in an act of escaping from a German POW camp in World War II, the barracks black marketeer J.J. Sefton is suspected of being an informer. So, Adam, what were your general thoughts on Stalag 17?
Um, yeah, so I did watch this. It was a few months ago when I watched it, so my memory's not going to be great, but I do have my little blurb in front of me. I mean, I did like it. I think it's quite good, and I mean, I basically wrote this as I didn't know Hogan's Hero was based on this. Apparently, it's not. It's just influenced. So I take umbrage to that. But no, it is good. It's the the twist. It's not a twist. It's the mystery does. I mean, I guessed it. I suppose I wouldn't
Mhm.
say miles out, but I did figure out who it was. It was pretty well foreshadowed. But yeah, it's a really fun watch. It was really enjoyable, and it's if you've ever seen an episode of Hogan's Heroes, I mean that's kind of what you can expect, to be honest,
Mhm.
except in a longer form.
And a little bit darker in terms of
Yeah,
edge. And
yeah.
but that's one of those this is a film where it's like this is an Academy Award winning performance. This is a Billy
Hmm.
Wilder film.
Hmm.
And you know, you go in with those kinds of like this is an all-time classic and I'm about to watch an all-time classic and it's certainly not close to being my favorite Billy Wilder film. He just has
No,
so many
no. Yeah.
amazing films, but like this is a really well put together film first off
Hmm.
from a directing standpoint. It has a good pace for the 2 hours. There's a lot of tension and suspense wrapped around this whole entire mystery for sure. And it has that interesting balance of having some silly, humorous shenanigans that are going on, especially with the characters of from Strauss and Lembeck's characters, doing their silly kind of shenanigans. And then
Hmm.
there's some humorous kind of elements, but like there's some real tension here and there's stakes right off the bat. You witness these deaths and
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Mm.
we're setting the tone. And this, like the music and the visuals and everything, this crisp black and white, it feels like a drama. But then you do have that humor that comes in that like cuts that tension. But I don't
Hmm.
think that it doesn't cut the tension enough to take away from the dramatic impact of the film either.
It's look the German soldiers aren't as bumbling in this one.
Mhm.
As they are a bit more sinister, I suppose, like the German soldiers are, or were. But like you said, yeah, there's definitely moments of humor. But it's just like you
Mhm.
said, it's not as much on Front Street as the TV show was. But yeah, it's a Billy Wilder film, and you're going to get Billy
Mhm.
Wilder in it. You're speaking of, yeah, it's actually number 12 on my list of his, and I've seen 14 of his films, but I still really liked it. So it speaks volumes about what I think of his other films.
I haven't particularly ranked his films to a point where like I could actively tell you what like I could tell you what my favorite is, which is Sunset Boulevard. And apparently that's
Hmm.
William Holden's favorite too, and thought he should
Yeah.
have won his Oscar for that. But
Hmm.
like I think William Holden does that William Holden thing that he does very well, which is there's like something about him that's just like he's handsome, he's rugged, he's
Yeah.
intense, and he has that attraction of him, that magnetism. But he's also like not necessarily the kind of vibe that you'd want to hang out with this man because he's kind of just like a cynical dick. And it's just like
Yeah.
his
Yeah. He's a bit
worldview
of a
is
dick.
very much that. And
Mm.
William Holden delivers that unlike so many characters because like I'm a huge Bridge on the River Kwai fan. Absolutely love
Yes.
that
Yeah.
film. And that character that he plays in that is just such that vibe that I get from William Holden. It's just like it's a very negative vibe. And he plays this character to the point where of course they're gonna suspect him
Hmm.
because like he is the
Yeah.
guy, the least likable one, the one, but like I think the film, I never once thought it was him. And I think the film sets it up in a way where I'm like, I know it's not going to be
Yeah.
William Holden's character.
Yeah. Yeah. We're
But
definitely told it's not him.
mhm. And you have that kind of vibe. And I thought it was a solid mystery that they set up, even if, like, after a while, you're going to figure it out. But it's one of those kinds of things where it gives enough dramatic tension throughout the film to buoy this story. Because at the
Hmm.
end of the day, even if there's like this good, sharp sense of humor and stuff like that, this is a story of life and death. Like
Yeah.
whoever this informant is could potentially continue to cost other people their lives in this situation. And
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wilder is so good at balancing that humor, but also being able to bring that weight. Because like even something like Double Indemnity, it's a dark
Yep.
story. There's
Mm.
stakes here, but like you have some good sharp humor that slides in. Obviously, some of them like some like it hot's much more humor, but like even at the
Yes.
beginning, it's like they go on the run because they witnessed a massacre.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
darker edge to these kinds of things, and here it's more darker edge than comedy, but the comedy's fun
Mm.
when it happens. And
Hmm.
I am not surprised that Robert Strauss got nominated for an Oscar for this because he was such a fun time and a great standout in this film for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it was yeah, there's some great I mean it's good performances across the board. Like there's nothing bad going on
Yeah.
anywhere in the film. It's just yeah, It's for a film that I really like, for it to be ranked so low on this guy's list. It's if people listening to this haven't seen a lot of Billy Wilder, yeah, I mean, do yourself a favor and go out and watch as much of his movies as you can.
Well, and I'll assume that eventually he'll be one of the directors that I do on
Mm,
Welcome to the Wasteland, which I would love to take a deep dive through his filmography.
yeah, yeah.
But for now I'm happy just chipping away at some of his films every so often, and I was happy to chip this one off the
Hmm.
watch list for sure. And it's intense. It has a good bit of mystery. It has a good
Hmm.
sense of like some dark humor, and also like some of it's like they call this a dark comedy. I'm like some of it just like really silly, and
Yeah.
that's fine. And it's
Mm.
based off of the characters. It's really Strauss and Lambeck who are the ones that bring that sensibility to it. But yeah, from top to bottom, like you have Otto Preminger here, who's really interesting in his role. Robert
Yeah.
Graves, I mean Peter Graves from Mission Impossible, the TV series, and also,
Yeah.
Airplane.
Yes. Yeah, it's good to
And
see some of those familiar faces when they're younger.
absolutely. And this is one of those films where I'm like, this isn't going to be the Billy Wilder film that I'm going to go back and watch again and again and again and again. I'd much rather watch a Sunset Boulevard or Some Like It Hot or The Apartment or Double
Yeah.
Indemnity. There's so many great ones, but this is still like, this gives me the vibe of like, this might be lower tier Billy Wilder to me, but
Hmm.
any filmmaker would kill to have this
Yeah.
be their best movie.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely.
And
There'd be tons out there. It's a great movie.
and I don't know, like I don't know if this ever crossed your mind, but I got bits of Kubrick vibes from this, and I
Okay.
don't know if it was the combination of the black and white cinematography and some like the darker humor, or even just like this war setting. But
Mm.
I wouldn't be surprised if Kubrick was a little bit influenced for films like because like when did Paths of Glory came out? Definitely after this. Um, I'm pretty sure because
Yeah, it's a good question.
I got Paths of Glory and Doctor Strangelove a little bit of vibes from this, and
Yeah, Powers of Glory is 4 years after.
mhm. So I think that would make an interesting collection of films to check out. Like if you're gonna
Mm.
marathon some old war films like this, I think this Paths of Glory would be some interesting films to watch together. But I'm such a big fan of William Holden. Love watching William
Yeah.
Holden in anything.
Hmm.
Um, this and Sunset Boulevard, Bridge on the River Kwai.
Check
Um,
out Paris When It Sizzles with Audrey Hepburn.
okay.
Yeah.
I I'm guessing it's probably on my watch list somewhere.
Yeah, I'd
Even like
imagine.
all the way up until, the Wild Bunch and Network. He was still putting out amazing performances for sure.
Mm.
But I guess Adam, do you have anything else that you wanted to add about the film?
No, just recommend it to anyone listening. Again, I just feel like I'm being really repetitive, but watch anything Billy Wilder, you'll have a good time.
And I think the last point that I'll bring up is I do really enjoy the obviously the tension's what's going to stick with you because it elicits that emotion. But like I really enjoyed the camaraderie and just, these men trying to make the most of this situation, being stuck in this together. And
Mm.
there's so many shows like obviously Hogan's Heroes or MASH where it's like you're sitting in this like darker space and like I'm a huge The Great Escape fan. I've watched that film
Yeah.
since I was a kid and stuff like that. And that kind of vibe where you just get to see them living their lives together in this camp is there there's certainly enjoyable moments along the way too. So this
Hmm.
is a really well made film. It's from a legendary director, an Oscar-winning central performance, and a great cast around them. So check this one out. But Adam, thank you so much as always for coming on and talking movies with me.
Thanks for having me, as always.
And thank all of you out there for listening, and make sure to like, comment, and share on this episode. What's your favorite Billy Wilder film? And make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. The SPDM Crew podcasting network is ever expanding. We have so many great shows. Adam has a couple. I have slightly more than a few. And if you love movies, there's plenty of those, but there's other shows where there's other interests that you can sink your teeth into as well. But and if you like our logo, check out HiFlyer Creative for all your digital marketing needs. But most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the Wasteland Watchlist here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network.